All right. You ready? All right. Hey, music lovers, welcome to Musical Miles Podcast. I'm your host, Byron Duffin, and we are here in Sun Valley, Idaho at the Valley Music Fest with my new friend, Andru Jamison.
Hello. How you doing, my buddy?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for taking time to join us.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoy it. So I seen you guys running around and finally got my hands on one of these things.
Yeah. Those Teton guitars, we talked. You had reached out a while back, and I've dropped the ball somewhere. We'll figure it out where, but great guitars. I've never handed that guitar to anybody. Now, in all that we've done, I think you're 170, number 171 or 172 in 14 months of interviews.
Wow.
So, but of that, I've only had a couple of artists that didn't want to play it. They played their own guitar because I have everybody play me a song and then autograph the guitar. They were willing to, but you know, some people are funny about guitars, right? They and as far as I know, they might have had an endorsement deal that I'm not aware of, which is I totally cool with. Yeah. But like I was talking, you know, everybody that picks these guitars up loves the way they sound, love the way they play, and they said, and I just like I told you, everybody ought to be have an affiliate deal
for real,
and because I know you can help sell guitars, no question about it. Yeah. Especially if it's something you believe in.
Absolutely. That's the one thing about like myself is I never back any brand I don't 100% believe in. You know, so, and I'm getting to the place where I'm at in my career right now. I've had a couple of people like, hey, you know, try our stuff. Absolutely not. Like, when I have tried it, worst case scenario, but I have to tell them, be like, yeah, no, this ain't for me.
Yeah. You know, and we've not, you know, we've tried to associate ourselves with local companies because we're Idaho proud, right? This Idaho guitar, they do such a great job for us that, you know,
are they based out of Idaho?
Idaho Falls, man.
No kidding.
10 minutes from my house.
Wow. Okay.
So how do you beat that? You know, I pick up the phone and go, hey, I'm needing, and like here, when we first got with Levi and found out about this festival, I reached out to him and said, hey, you know, could we get some media passes and come cover and do interviews at your event and help promote it? And he goes, well, would you interview me? And I said, absolutely. Let's sit down and do it. So we started clear back in, I think it was in April, and then any of the locals like Ozzy Higley,
shout out Ozzy, love you, baby brother,
Dawson Moon, and a bunch of other locals that are here. Ellie Mae, did you meet Ellie Mae, the little blonde?
She's wonderful.
She so we had interviewed. We interviewed all of them and tried to get to help promote because you know the event. So but some of them we had already, you know, because we follow them because they're Idaho guys, and Crosby, you know, I'm a big Jeff Crosby fan, and you know they call him the Duke of Donnelly. That's where he's from, Donnelly, Idaho.
Okay,
and the Duke of Donnelly, so he's got a pretty good reputation up there. They love him up there. They love him all over,
man.
So
love it. Local pride is important too.
Oh,
that's another thing. I love that communities that come together too, and even state pride. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think there needs to be more of it. So shout out to you for highlighting that as well and using your platform to also shout these people out.
Yeah, maybe we can get the state of Idaho to sponsor us, huh? the travel department of the state of Idaho. We'll have to reach out to them, but nonetheless, there is so let's talk. We're here to talk about you, Andru. So where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay.
So there's a part of me that will always call Texas home.
Sure.
But the reality is, so my father was Air Force. He was military. So we moved every 2 to 3 years. Texas was the longest standing running place that I ever stayed in. So that was the first 8 years to 9 years of my life. And ironically, the military ended up bringing me back down to San Antonio for a little bit. So that was interesting.
Because you joined the military yourself.
I did at 17.
Air Force as well?
Oh, no. I wanted to use my trigger finger and my brain, so I joined the Army. But my little brother ended up going Air Force, following that family tree. But it all started there. Texas is one place that I always felt like it was kind of home, but I ended up spending a lot of time up too in outside Chicagoland area. So in Illinois, I lived there for collectively probably 9 years between moves. So a lot of my family that I call my family, you know, by choice, not by blood, was all up there. And then about 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago, I moved to Nashville to go chase that music dream. So.
Okay. So you currently hang your hat in Nashville.
Yep.
Cool.
Just south of
Nashville. Well, we love Nashville. I've only been to Chicago, believe it or not, once, but Miss Shanda and I used to work for the winter home of the Chicago Cubs.
Wow.
In Arizona. So when they'd come for spring training.
Yeah.
So we're big Cubby fans.
Yeah.
And our youngest, he's a baseball nut and never played, but he is an absolute loves the Cubs and loves baseball and has already been, I think, in 12 or 13 stadiums.
Wow. See, like Wrigley Field, there's something about that, the nostalgia. But I will give it to the Sox though. The Sox and their tailgate parties out in that parking lot.
Well, they tell me the Sox, even the stadium, that the food is way better at the Sox stadium than it is.
I'll agree with that, but there's nothing like a Sox tailgate party. But there's the nostalgia of Wrigley. You can't beat it.
Wrigley's so cool. You know, there was a lot of discontent when they put the lights up in Wrigley Field, but just that ivy wall is just so cool.
It's just iconic.
Yeah, we went out there a couple of years ago. So we did. He started it actually. Gage is our youngest. He's 25 now, but he said, "Dad, let's you and I go to a Cubs game." And I'm like, "Okay." So we bought tickets, and so then I tried to do a trip with each of our kids. We have 4, and just said, "Look, you pick and I pay." And it's just a dad-kid trip, right? So Gage and I do baseball games, and we did that, and then we went to Denver. Breck, my middle one, is a fly fisherman. He loves to fly fish. So I took him on a guided fly fishing trip into Yellowstone. We hiked back into a place called Grebe Lake and fly fished. Him and a buddy and I and a guide, and that was cool. That was a fun trip. And then our daughter had never been to Texas. And my 2 middle kids rodeoed, and I used to ride cutting horses and, been in the horse deal. Tried to be I say I'm an Idaho farm boy that always wanted to be a cowboy, right? So I spent a lot of time in Texas. I actually worked on a ranch in West Texas one summer and then rode cutting horses, and then we go to Texas to the shows and stuff. But I mean, all those places you've been, there's something there that is pretty cool that kind of ties us to that area. So
I love it. Even when you're talking about Arizona, I was actually born in Arizona. So
you were.
When I say I've been everywhere, Mesa, Maricopa County.
It's serious. Yeah, Miss Shanda was actually born in Phoenix. Her first home was in Scottsdale when she was little.
That's what I was talking to her a little bit about yesterday.
And then she ended up in Shoalo, is where her family, her old ancestral home, is over 100 years old. I think it was built in 1917. Anyway, but just a lot of cool history. And I was born and raised in Idaho. So
there you go.
But we've lived all over. So we actually lived in Hawaii. You said the trigger finger. I was a shooting instructor in Hawaii.
There you go.
On the island of Kauai.
And that's awesome. My little brother's Air Force Security Forces. He's a combat arms instructor over there right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I did some time on the marksmanship team for the All Army.
Okay.
So
I was a shotgun guy. I'm not a marksman by any stretch. I'm a sporting clays and trap.
Okay.
But in fact, there's a great gun club right up this road.
Man, don't tempt me. I might be
but that's all shotgun stuff.
Right. That's fine. I'll still twirl and
Yeah. No. It's in fact, I was here a week ago, Thursday, and shot in a tournament over here.
That's awesome, man.
In the potato industry, that's where I came from.
I made a joke. I made my first Idaho joke actually, flying in here to Boise.
Yeah.
And I used to see the look on my lead guitarist's face. Shout out Chevy. But I sat there. I'm looking out the window. I'm like, I don't see one single potato tree over here. And he just kind of looked at me like, what? I'm like, I'm joking.
They don't grow on trees. They grow under the dirt.
Yes,
but
educational purposes.
Yes, educational
potatoes
purposes
grow under the ground.
dirt, and they are a cousin to a peanut. So they're grown very much like a peanut and harvested similar to a peanut. But and this is harvest time right now. Okay. They're digging potatoes. In fact, there's some potatoes just 20 minutes from here, but they're not ready to dig yet. They probably won't, because those are seed potatoes. Gotcha. So seed potatoes, they'd want to grow them in an isolated area where less chance of getting diseases and stuff. But anyway, so much for the potatoes and shooting and all that other stuff. I have a tendency my kids think I may have ADD.
That's all right.
And so I wander around a little bit. So started out in Texas, but when did the music bug bite you?
So I grew up in a very abusive home life.
Okay.
And so when I was 10 years old, music was a safe place for me.
Sure.
I started playing guitar I had always tried to sing, but I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't start singing until about 5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. And so guitar was kind of my safe place where I'd just go play, and it was like it kind of just put my everything into those strings.
Right.
And I used to play it so much that I would actually cut into my fingers and just form calluses, right? But I used to bleed all over the place just playing it.
I've
so
not
much.
got to that point, but I have the dents.
See,
and everybody tells me if you're making dents, you're pressing too hard. You don't need to press that hard. But
see, now it's just a built-in groove for
there you go. Yeah, so it's easier to you don't fall out of the off the string so easy.
Yeah, music was always a safe place for me. I've always loved music. Ironically, growing up in Texas, I hated country music.
Really?
I hated it. There was only one artist that I really liked, and it was Dwight Yoakam.
Oh, yeah.
I remember being real young.
But he ain't a Texan. He's a Californian.
He's a Californian, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
He's a product of Buck Owens and the Bakersfield sound.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But the thing that got me about Dwight Yoakam was I remember seeing him. I was real young it was Destiny's Child and Dwight Yoakam at the Texas State Fair.
Really?
Yeah. And so I was like, whoa, who's that guy? And other than that was like the only country artist I listened to.
Guitars, Cadillacs, and hillbilly women.
That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And I was always a rocker. So like your Motley Crue, your Van Halen, like that was the stuff that I did. And,
I grew up before Motley Crue, but I've seen Motley Crue live.
Yeah.
And let's see, who'd they play with? They played Motley Crue and in Blackfoot when I took Cash for his birthday. The German rock band.
Rammstein?
No.
That's what I think of when I think of.
Yeah, I know. I'll think of it anyway. This is how my old brain works. Right? We'll talk about it, and then 20 minutes later, I'll spit out the name, and then you go, "What are you talking about?" But anyway, yeah. So you were a rocker. That's kind of the way you lean.
Yeah, and I remember like just even watching videos of like Stevie Ray Vaughan or Jimi Hendrix. You know, just had their play style. And so like the one thing I remember sitting there and saying like, I want to learn to play guitar and be one of those people where if like Eddie Van Halen picked up a guitar, right, and you didn't have a visual of him, you knew that was Eddie playing. Right. If it was Stevie Ray Vaughan playing,
well, you knew it. And if it's Hendrix, you knew it was Hendrix.
It was Hendrix.
Yeah.
So I wanted to develop that kind of style, and I started doing that a little bit as a kid. But
this episode is sponsored by Close. With over 10 years of experience crafting hand-built composite instruments, Close provides the widest selection of premium carbon fiber instruments in the world, from acoustics to ukuleles, electrics and basses, even mandolins. When picking an instrument, Close doesn't want you to have to make a choice between performance and portability. These instruments stay in tune and intact, whether you're hopping venues or cresting mountains. Every Close instrument is plecked, which means you'll get low action and buttery smooth playability each time you pick up your instrument. Check out Close to find instruments you'll not only take with you, but ones you won't want to leave behind.
Then we're just kind of hanging, and this guy goes, "What do you guys do?" And she said, "Well, we do a podcast, music podcast." He goes, "You need to meet my friend Roger Murrah." Roger Murrah, you know who Roger Murrah is? You know, wrote "Don't Rock the Jukebox" with Alan Jackson and 11 or 10 other number ones, right? So legendary, and so. But that's how this has happened to us organically. We got to meet this guy that introduced us to that guy. So it's just kind of grown and expanded. And so now we have another contact in Nashville. And next time we come out, we'll give you a holler and we'll go hang out at Kimbrough's.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, we'll just we'll invite all our friends that we know in Nashville to come to Kimbrough's and hang out on the porch.
Yeah. I love it.
I just think that's one of the cool. That's kind of like a campfire experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it was one of those places for sure. You kind of sit around and you're like, whoa. People been here, you know, like same thing at the Opry. So like,
oh yeah,
I actually have a really cool story about the Opry. So when I first started the music thing like 4 years ago,
right?
So 3 years ago, I got invited to go to a trip to Nashville. It was my first time ever going to Nashville. I was like, yeah, we did that Opry tour thing,
right? Yeah, we've done the tour, yeah.
And so I'm walking around, seeing all the greatness that has been in that building, you know.
and you get to stand in the circle.
See, but here's the thing. So funny thing about that, as we're waiting to go up onto the final last part of that tour, they're all sitting there and like, this is the stage, this is the circle, you know.
Right.
And I'm sitting there, and I'm waiting, just kind of taking everything in. And there's a picture that my friend got of me, just like looking at everything. And then the tour guide says, yep, right there where that young man's standing, she points at me and says, the last place that an artist stands before going up into the sacred circle. And I'm like, okay. And I look down, there's an X that's there, right? And so everybody like, all right, come take a picture in the circle, blah, blah, blah. Well, I lift my foot up and there's a penny. It's got the shield penny, right? It's like un prinus unum or whatever. And I picked up that penny. I'm like, this is my lucky penny. Like, it has to be my lucky penny. So I'm not sure what the Latin exactly is, but it means one of many. And so I picked it up and I carried it around in my wallet. And they asked me, like, all right, you know, I'm the last person in line that I come stand in the circle. I was like, there's no way in hell I'm standing in that circle until I deserve it. And so fast forward to last year in October, I ended up winning Song of the Year at the Grand Ole Opry for the JMAs for my song Empty Bottle.
Oh, that's so cool.
And it was awesome. So I'm like, this is my circle moment, right? Nope. Because the Opry was the one that invited me. So you should have seen the look on that entire people's faces when I took that mic stand and stepped out of the circle, put it next to the circle, and then I gave my acceptance speech, my thank you speech for the song, and then I moved it back.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. You should have seen, like, some people were clapping and cheering and everything.
Yeah.
But I was getting like, you disrespected the circle. I'm like, no. And I made a promise to my goddaughter when she was born too. I said, you know, I'm going to step in that circle when I deserve it. And so one day I will be there. I'm a little more rocky for anything else, but that's I will be there. But yeah, it's one of those places. I know it was kind of a rabbit trail on that one. But,
no, but a great story, and that's what this podcast is about. Yeah. And so when I do, exactly, we manifest it. Works whole life, man. Well, and when you do, you need to call me and go, it happened.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. I will.
And we'll revisit this.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, remember that one time?
Yeah. So, no, there's so much cool stuff goes on there, but there's so much cool stuff where these guys are from. We got background mood music this morning with Shane Smith and the Saints. Yeah. And this is my favorite song that they do. But you know, Texas has such a cool music scene, and
that red dirt country land.
Yeah, Oklahoma and Texas, and Texas is funny because it's actually broken out in different areas. You know, you've got that really the heart of the music scene in Texas is Austin, New Braunfels. You know that, and some of the coolest parts of Texas, I think the hill country are right there, and I love that area. And
like the Fort Worth scene, which is like now
the stockyards. Yeah. You've got the stockyards, and this, you know, there's the old school, you know, the Longhorn and a bunch of the old bars there, and then there's Tannehill, a new one, and we've actually spent a little bit of time there, and so. And then there's West Texas. You know, you can't forget about West Texas and Lubbock. Yeah. You know, Lubbock has its own really rich music history. Buddy Holly's from there, and you know, we did our first Texas interview was in Lubbock at the Cook's Garage. Have you been to Cook's?
I haven't been to Cook's.
What a cool place! But we didn't go to the Blue Light. You know, I need to go back and go see the Blue Light, and you know, but I've not seen a show at Floors, which the day I went to Floors to try and shoot some video and some pictures of Floors, Willie was playing there, so I couldn't get very close, but it's so cool. And then the Devil's Backbone Tavern is out in the middle of nowhere. Do you know? Have you ever met Todd Snyder?
I have not.
Do you know Todd? Do you know who he is? Oh my gosh! Someday you need to listen. Just look him up on YouTube and listen to the story about him. Headed to Lukenbach. One of the first jobs he got hired to go do, and they got lost on their way to Lukenbach.
Okay.
Never made it. They ended up at the Devil's Backbone Tavern, and he wrote a song about it. Verdi, he said she gave away more beers than she sold, but he says, you know, he tells the story about this Devil's Backbone Tavern, and he gets lost on his way to Lukenbach, and she goes, screw Lukenbach, just stay here and drink beer with us, right? And he ended up being a regular there and playing. But Todd Snyder is one of the greatest storytellers. I mean, there's so many of them, you know. But anyway, there's some great bars and great places that we haven't seen it.
Right. It's a lot of history.
Very, very little of them, and we try and feature venues as well. So we did three interviews inside Green Hall, and so which is pretty iconic.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
But anyway, so now you currently have a pub deal or
so it kind of shifted over, so it's still under Virgin Music Group, but it's actually with my favorite representation I've had so far. Has been amazing for independent artists, and just so much so I even like try to recruit some of my friends because I'm like, hey, listen, but that's Rock Sun Records. So shout out to Tom Hooks. You're amazing, my friend. Yep, Rock Sun Records.
Okay.
So they're sub-label under Virgin Music, and it's been awesome. It's absolutely been awesome. So he's very attentive and actually cares about his people.
Well, you know, we because we hear all the stories, right? You know, we've heard the really good side of the publishing deal, and you know, we've interviewed a couple of Curb Record guys. Had publishing deals for over 20 years there, and they've made great livings and raised their families on the income from publishing and they are only songwriters. Right. Well, I shouldn't say that. So there's a songwriter that works for Curb that we interviewed, Philip Lammons, and Philip just cut a new record and released it. I think it's called Cowboy Things. Or Cowboy Stuff. Anyway, cool guy. We had a great interview with him, and we met him because of another artist there, or a songwriter there, Joe Leathers introduced us to him. So, but you know, we've heard that, and I've often asked the question is, and you kind of alluded to it. Broadway's where artists
go to die and musicians go to thrive.
And I've asked this question of a lot of people: is Nashville the place where musical dreams go to die?
So they call Nashville a 10-year town.
Yeah.
A lot of people that have sat there and said it takes 10 years to establish yourself. The reality is because it takes 10 years of connections.
Yeah.
And so if you are not, and I'm just going to be blunt, anybody if you're a musician, you're listening to this, and you're an artist, right, and you're upcoming into this, if you are not in the business of connections and you don't like people, I'm sorry, you need to get out of this industry. Your people and the people that you communicate with, music is one of the most intimate things that you can possibly do. It's one of the most emotional things you can do.
Yeah.
And it's the business of connections. If you don't like talking to people, it's going to take you 10 years.
100%. Right? Well, it will take you at least 10 years. There's a song by an artist by the name of Ward Davis.
Yeah.
You know the song? Yeah. 15 years in a 10-year town.
Ward Davis is absolutely one hell of a songwriter too.
Yeah.
I truly believe, and this is where I've kind of like as an artist been, is that those connections and stuff, you have to go out there.
Yeah.
And so many people think that in this industry that if you make a post or your job is to hit it viral and that's how you're going to make it. No.
No.
It is showing up to the songwriter rounds. It is showing up to the places that are
to the open mics.
To the open mics, exactly. Like
it's getting the opportunities to go play the Listening Room Cafe.
Yep, Listening Room. You like the Commodore, the local,
the Bluebird.
Bluebird's one of my
iconic, right? Yeah,
it's still on my bucket list.
And we haven't been there either because when we were there, they had some issues with some flooding, and then they had some stuff, so they were closed that week when we were there. So once again, a huge disappointment to us because Miss Shanna's mom would go to Nashville every year. Her mom was a songwriter from Arizona, and she would go out there every year for some events and stuff. But she would always go to the Bluebird, and when she'd come home, she'd say, "Okay, now these are the artists I saw at the Bluebird. Write them down because they're going to be famous."
Right.
Garth Brooks.
Yep.
Randy Travis.
Yep.
Clint Black.
Yep.
KT Oslin, and she never missed them.
Right.
She'd come home. She should have worked in the music industry, you know, because she was smart. She should have been an A&R person. But anyway, there's so many cool places. But you're right. And once again, our deal is no different than our deal. It's about connections. And so if you're satisfied when you leave this interview today and you run into one of these other artists and you go, "Hey, have you sat down with Byron yet?"
That's what it's about.
And that's what it's all about.
And that's so like I'm in a firm belief too, is like there was some attitudes here, and a huge shout out to the Valley Music Festival.
Levi.
Liv, you guys, hats off to you. There was a younger artist. I'm not going to name names, but was very upset. He's like, "Oh, we played for like 4 people," and I sat there. I had a big brother moment with him. Right? He's a kid, so I kind of sat there. I'm like, "Listen, man. Doesn't matter if it's 4 or 4,000. Because here's the thing: those 4 people have 4 friends. Those 4 friends have 4 other friends. It is all about establishing that connection, man. I want you to change your thought process and how you're viewing that. Because now, instead of looking, there's only 4. Wow, there's 4 people that are sitting and listening to my music. Right. And I think that's kind of an overall attitude with a lot of these kind of. I'm just going to generalize it, kind of like these TikTok upcomer people, right? That are kind of like, what do you mean I have hundreds of people in a room online? Well, it's a lot different when you got to stare at them in the eyes, man.
Well, and not only that, those guys, there are 100 people online in a room, online watching you. Guess what? They're not paying you.
Right, exactly.
These guys spent their hard-earned money to buy a ticket.
Listen to you. And
maybe they didn't come to listen to you, but guess what? Andrew, how many people bought a ticket to come see Andrew?
Right.
They came to watch Shane. I hate to say it, right? They came to see Shane, they came to see Josh, and they came to see Baker.
Right.
Baker's one of those internet sensations that just
see, but Baker's real. That's the other thing. Is Baker, he's real. I got a chance to go talk with him and whatnot. He's head isn't big. You know what I mean? And that's what I truly believe is like, be confident but humble. And I mean, even Josh was the same way. You know, it's those established connections, man. And that's the type of stuff. Those people pay that hard money even to see that, but then they listen to you and they come up to you and they say, "Hey, I really like your song." Like I can't tell you how many hands I shook yesterday before opening up for Josh. And I was like, man, I'm like, thank you guys so much. You know, and it's those connections, and that's the beauty of what you do. Well,
exactly. So, well, we talked a little bit before we got started about some addiction and recovery. You want to talk about that?
So I was an addict, man. I lost my brain. I lost a lot of people. So far, I've lost 49 people I've loved in my life, and that has just been in the last 10 years of my life. It's been really rough. I had attempted suicide 7 times in a span of 3 years. I didn't want to be here anymore. It's by the grace of God that I am here. And my Heavenly Father decided to keep me here because he said, you're going to have purpose. You have purpose, and your job is going to be here and communicate and make connections through your music, through the pain, through the hurt. And I bear the scars even from some of my attempts, man. And the thing is that I hated myself. I never learned to love myself. And over what's made this last 2 years of my music journey beautiful is I finally started learning to love myself. And part of that healing was through music, but also touching other people's lives. And when I realized that part of my many purposes on this planet was to help others, man, there's a reason why God kept me here. And the fact that you're feeling what you're feeling right now blesses my heart. So I want to tell you, thank you. Life is valuable and it's very precious. And if you would have asked me 3 years ago, if I would have ever thought I loved myself and I wanted to live, I would tell you, you're crazy. Like, you're nuts. And so today, it is by God's grace that I am 979 days clean off of drugs. I like doing a lot of men's mental health, especially. We talk veterans groups and things like that. There's a good friend of mine, Andrew, with 22 a day. We're doing some events with him as well, just getting that stuff out. Because the thing is, and I'll tell everybody here that's listening right now, that you are loved and you have purpose, that your life holds value. And whether you don't feel that right now, I promise you, and I'm speaking into fruition that purpose is going to be revealed to you. And I believe that a lot of that also comes through music, and when we have those down times or even those high times, you know. And so that's what I love what I do, and why I'm so passionate about what I do is because we're talking about connection. Right? That connection is so important, and transposing it through music, the pain through music, happiness through music. And it was a very hard walk, but the thing is I'm the most stubborn man I've ever met in my life. So much so, I even get myself in trouble sometimes. But that stubbornness is exactly what helped push me.
Sure.
Is that I made a bet against myself. I bet you can't stay clean. I bet you can't do it. I'm like, oh yeah, well, watch me.
Yeah.
You know, so, and that's why when, you know, everybody was out partying yesterday and they were having fun, like, nope, my butt was back at the hotel because I know, like, if I get drunk, it's by accident now.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, honestly, congratulations on your sobriety.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. How are you feeling right now?
Well, you know, we talked a little bit before this. So what? You know, we have a son who's been a recovering addict for years. So we've seen the dark side of addiction. So not easy. But thanks, brother. We've also seen those that lost the battle. So anyway,
and I thank you for sharing that with me. Like, that actually means a lot to me, and it makes me very. How do I put this?
Thanks, man.
Gotcha. This moment right here is exactly why I do what I do. Because that emotion, that feeling, and everything that we've processed, right? That we go through, and there's times where I kind of have to hit that off button when it hits me. But like, I'm gonna share a story with you. So I wrote this song called "Empty Bottle." That was the one that had won Song of the Year. And when I had overdosed, it was May 2nd of 2022, and I remember seeing, there's little glimpses that I remember before I had gone out in the hospital in recovery, and I remember seeing the ambulance numbers on the side of the ambulance. Weird things like that.
Wow.
Right? I was playing a show. I was opening up for Noah Thompson in Shorewood, Illinois. This was a couple weeks ago. When I talk about full circle moment, I'm going to tell you this. So, it's been years, right? Processed things, gone through everything. I'm there at the show, and I see the ambulance that's there, and I see those numbers. I go up to it, and I'm like, because where I had overdosed was Shorewood, Illinois.
Oh, wow.
I see the ambulance. I walk up to the guys, and they go, oh, man, just even talking about it is giving me goosebumps right now. I walk up to the driver's side and said, this is the ambulance that saved my life. Oh, man. Okay, so so I get up there, and I'm like, thank you, gentlemen. This was the ambulance that picked me up, saved my life. The guy in the passenger seat sat there and said, are you the veteran? That was the medic that saved my life, dude. And I had a whole moment. I started bawling. I was up on stage in front of hundreds of people, man. And I'm sitting there. I started bawling. I'm like, I invited those gentlemen up on stage. And that was the full circle moment where it was just like, I was meant to be, you know? And yeah. So we can talk about something happy now.
All right. So play me a happy song, and we're gonna let you get out of here.
Okay.
Set it up. Tell me what you're gonna play me.
Okay. Well, so marketing purposes wise, I'm gonna play you guys a song actually that released yesterday at midnight.
Oh yeah. I haven't heard this one yet.
Yeah. So this song is called Number 7. And it's not necessarily like happy, but I love this one. It was something that kind of it was one of those songs I wrote in 20 minutes. So anyway, this is Number 7. It's available on all platforms. You kept saying that I should give up drinking, but I never had a problem till liquor started thinking that I'm okay. Then I'm okay till your memories pointing. I do my best to go and forget that you're out there with him, but I can't pretend I'm okay when I'm not okay. So I'm drowning in a fifth again. A bartender killing sober for me tonight. Cause I'll never know how forevers could turn into goodbyes.
That little black bottle with a lucky number 7 got me through hell, but took me from heaven. I ain't okay, I'll never be okay. If I would've quit, then she would've stayed. I swear that if I could ever go back, I'd give it all up and break up with Jack. But it's too late, and you're up and done with it, so I'll just sit back, sip on a whiskey glass. Now I'm stumbling, hesitant to ever go and punching in that 815. I hit up too late to try and go and say the apology for everything I said. Was sipping on a little black bottle with a lucky number 7. Got me through hell, but took me from heaven. I ain't okay, I'll never be okay. If I would've quit, then maybe she would've stayed. Swear that if I ever go back, I'd give it all up and break up with Jack. But it's too late, and you're up and done with it. I'll just sit back and sip on a whiskey glass. On a whiskey glass. On a whiskey glass. I'll just sit back and sip on a whiskey glass. Thank you.
No, thank you. All right, so tell everybody where they can find your music.
You can find my music. So the one good thing about me is my parents screwed my name up. Shout out, Mom. I appreciate you. My name is spelled Andru. So, Andru. Jamison with an I. If you Google that or whatever streaming platform you listen to your music on, go check it out. I appreciate y'all. And thank you for doing what you do, my friend.
Man.
Sincerely. So,
Put your autograph on there for me.
oh, signing the Get Fiddle, huh?
You betcha. You betcha.
We're going to go right here.
That works. Right there next to the man, the myth, the legend, Dean Dillon.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Man, thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Make me think. I hate that.
You know what, man?
I,
It's expression of emotion, and this is one of the most beautiful things. So thank you for feeling, and also the courage and strength it takes
Thank you.
to do it in front of people. So
well, not easy.
that's strength, man.
Before you get out of here, we got to get a picture.
Absolutely.
All right. Miss Shanda.
This guy, no, you're great.
Sincere. Thank you, bro.
Barely.